It was a cold, still night outside Jerusalem, and the air felt heavier than usual. Thomas, a man known for his skepticism, stood alone in a quiet garden near the city. He had come here often to pray, seeking solitude away from the bustling streets. But tonight, something was different. An unease settled deep in his chest. The whispers in the city were loud now. Rumors of a man named Jesus, who had been condemned to die on a cross. Some called him the Messiah. Others claimed he was a deceiver. But Thomas never paid much attention to such stories. Tonight, however, he felt drawn to this garden, as if something or someone was calling to him. He knelt beside a stone, trying to steady his breath and focus his mind on prayer. The night felt too quiet, too still, as if the world were holding its breath. That's when he saw it, a shadow near the old olive tree where Jesus had prayed the night before his crucifixion. At first, Thomas thought it was a trick of the light, but the figure grew clearer. It wasn't a man, it was a shape, twisted and unnatural. The air turned cold around him, and his heart began to race. The figure moved closer, gliding silently over the ground, its form shifting as it came. Thomas froze, unable to speak, his body paralyzed with fear. The figure's eyes, black as pits, locked onto his, and a chill ran through him. The figure opened its mouth, its voice a hiss that seemed to come from everywhere. You seek the truth, but truth is far more terrifying than you know. Thomas swallowed hard, his voice barely a whisper. Who are you? The figure didn't answer immediately. It took a step closer, its presence overwhelming. Finally it spoke, its voice low and deep. Do you know the full story of the cross? The question caught Thomas off guard. He thought of Jesus, the crucifixion, the blood, the pain. He had seen it from a distance, but never truly understood. What do you mean? He asked, his voice trembling. The figure raised a hand and pointed toward the sky, but the heavens didn't seem right. A dark rift appeared above them, swirling with shadow, a void that seemed to reach deep into the earth. The figure spoke again, its voice a quiet, unsettling whisper. Jesus did not just bear sin on that cross. He called upon something older, something beyond time itself. And when he died, he opened a door. A door that should have stayed closed. Thomas stumbled back, trying to escape, but the ground trembled beneath him. He could hear a faint growl as though something ancient, something buried deep below was stirring. The air grew thick, suffocating. Dark shapes began to emerge from the earth, figures with glowing red eyes, moving slowly toward him. The figure grinned, its face twisted in a way that sent terror deep into Thomas's heart. You think his death was the end? It was only the beginning. The shadows closed in around Thomas, surrounding him, cutting off any escape. His body shook with fear as the air grew colder, the darkness heavier. The figures from the earth circled him, their eyes fixed on him, their movements predatory. The figure's voice echoed, the cross didn't bring salvation. It was a gateway, and now the darkness has been unleashed. The shadows reached for him, wrapping themselves around him. Thomas screamed, but no sound escaped his mouth. The darkness seemed to swallow him whole. The last thing he saw was the figure standing at the edge of the garden, watching him, unmoving. And then there was nothing. The world fell into an oppressive silence, and Thomas was gone. Some say that on nights like this, when the air is still and the shadows seem to whisper, the spirits of those lost to the darkness are still trapped, never finding rest.